Derrick Henry is a big hole that they plugged in the offseason. I'm
Yeah.
curious what your thoughts are on Derrick Henry, and how do you think he can impact playoff Lamar?
Yeah, I think it's perfect for both guys. Obviously, when the Ravens brought in Derrick Henry, there's always a lot of controversy now around running backs of like 30-year-old, is that cut off and you're no longer good after you're 30. But I don't buy too much into that. And I think that the whole notion of not paying running backs is silly because we see what guys like Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs have done for their new teams this year. But I think it just eases pressure off of Lamar. And that's what Derrick Henry's done for Lamar all season and vice versa. It's been both guys who have been able to work in tandem with each other to make sure that they don't have to be Superman for the entire game. Both guys are Superman, but one game it's Lamar Jackson carrying the workload, another game maybe it's Derrick Henry, and then one game it's both of them doing their thing. So it's been really cool to see how those two have obviously formed a relationship. They're at the 2019 Pro Bowl together, and there's a viral clip from there about Lamar saying, "No, just give the ball to Derrick, just let Derrick run, like he'll do his thing." And so that obviously is fostered into what it is today. And in terms of the playoffs, I don't know about you, but obviously I'm not a football player. But if I had Derrick Henry in sub 20-degree weather running straight at me, I'm stepping out of the way and saying, have fun in the end zone. I'm not trying to tackle Derrick Henry over and over and over again for 4 quarters. And I think that's what we saw last week with Pittsburgh, where the Ravens ran 50 times. And you get in all those collisions. You have to get super physical for that often against the guy who has said he puts hundreds of thousands of dollars into his body every single year to make sure that he can be all the way at the peak of his powers every single time he steps on the field, regardless of how late in the year it was. It almost reminds me back in the day of like Brandon Jacobs on the Giants and like how that guy was just a massive human being. And when December rolled around, you knew that with some of these bigger backs, it's just like you don't want to go out there and step in the way of that guy. And so you have to commit more of your defensive manpower to stopping him. But then once you do that, Lamar can take the ball, or they can work play action off of that and throw the ball over the linebackers that are cheating down to try to stop Derrick. So obviously, the Ravens have had great running backs in Lamar's era. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. I mean, those guys are no slouches, but they're not Derrick Henry. And what I said when the Ravens first signed him was the Ravens didn't need to sign a running back. But this isn't about improving the Ravens' rushing attack. It's about making the ceiling higher than it was. And I think that we've seen that over the course of this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen records and all across the board, so it's been a really fun season so far.